Firefighters and police officers contribute toward their pensions out of their paychecks, but the city says you pay for a majority of it, $77 million a year. So we all have a lot to lose if things go wrong. Rick Garcia retired last month after almost 33 years of fighting fires. Now he hopes to live on the pension he paid into all those years and maybe travel a bit.
For firefighters and police, it's our Social Security. We don't pay into Social Security, so that is our income when we retire.
Special meeting of the Fire and Police Pension Board.
But records obtained by the News 4 troubleshooters show the trustees in charge of the pension fund have already been traveling with some of that money, spending more than $193,000 since 2015, including trips to Las Vegas, New Orleans, and China for investment conferences. Of the 9 pension fund trustees, the ones who traveled the most still work for the police and fire departments. Every time they travel, the city has to pay their salaries and the salaries of people to replace them while they're gone. We traveled here to Key West, Florida to see what goes on at one of those investment conferences. That trip was in January and was attended by Pension Board Chairman and active firefighter J.T. Trevino, along with trustee and SAPD detective James Foster. The conference ended by early afternoon each day, leaving time for drinks at a bar by the harbor. Later that night, the group was joined by several other people for dinner at a popular gourmet restaurant. And afterward, a night of bar hopping along Key West's famous Duval Street. None of the pension board's most frequent flyers would agree to talk with us, but a spokesman for the fund defended the travel, saying the conferences provided valuable education about the complex world of investments.
To make good investments, you kind of have to go above and beyond. So, so part of their travel is to conferences where they get that education about these different types of asset classes.
Then there was this dinner after a conference here in San Antonio last October, hosted by the Philadelphia investment firm Cook & Beeler, which was bidding for a $75 million contract from the pension fund. Several trustees attended, including Vice Chairman and Police Sergeant Jim Smith, SAPD Detective James Foster, and retired Assistant Chief of Police Harry Griffin, seen sitting next to the Cook & Beeler executive hosting the dinner, Thad Fletcher. Records we obtained show 1 month after that dinner, Cook & Beeler was added to the list of finalists for the contract at the specific request of trustees. 2 months after that, the board voted to award the firm the $75 million. Cook & Beeler did not respond to repeated requests for comment, but I caught up with trustee Harry Griffin at a recent board meeting. Why would you go to a dinner that is hosted by a firm that is in the running for investment money from the fund?
Attending a dinner doesn't influence my decision whether I'm going to hire a manager or not.
Do you think the appearance is proper?
I understand there's a potential, issue with the appearance of that.
Griffin says while he does sit on the committee that recommended Cook & Beeler, he was absent the day of the final vote. A spokesman says the October dinner was not a violation of the pension fund's standards of conduct, which say communications between trustees and persons seeking to influence the decisions of the board shall be minimized to the extent reasonably possible. Last year, we found out what can happen if a pension fund is influenced into bad decisions. The Dallas Police and Fire pension went broke. Both retirees and taxpayers paid a heavy price. The legislature had to bail it out by increasing the amount retirees and the city have to pay into the pension. But pension officials in San Antonio say that won't happen here because they are financially sound, with a successful track record of investing.
The proof is in the pudding. When the pension fund earns $370 million like it did last year, I think that the taxpayers should look at this and say, it's great.
Well, the city of San Antonio doesn't think all that paid travel by trustees is so great. When it learned what we uncovered, City Hall took immediate action to clamp down on that. I'll let you know what the city is doing in my follow-up report tomorrow night. I'm News 4 troubleshooter Jay Avila.